Hi, I'm Pastor Bill Vigu once again from Meat of the Word Ministries, and I want to share the sixth segment of a series that I've been doing about feeding your faith and starving your fears or shaking off your fears. And we're going to look at one miracle that the Apostle Paul did. It's found in the book of Acts, chapter 1 through 10. And would encourage you to read that very carefully. I'll tell the story here today, but I do want to say this. In our position, my wife and I, we're ministers. We have seen many people that have called upon us and asked us to pray for them. We've seen healings, people that have been healed or refreshed or restored, and many people coming to the Lord Jesus Christ in a more intense way. Unfortunately, there have been some that have turned away from God, and we've learned that their spiritual condition was not that strong, and so we regret that, but we continue to pray, and I want to encourage you to continue to pray. Now, here in Acts chapter 28, verses 1 through 10, the story is told where the Apostle Paul had been taken or was on his way to Rome and had been caught up in a shipwreck. We don't know how long that shipwreck was or how long they were out there in the open seas in the Mediterranean, but we do know that they had fasted for 14 days, finally, assessing in their own heart that they had, there was no hope. But then the Lord appeared to the Apostle Paul and gave him a revelation knowledge of what was going to happen and detailed exactly what was going to happen, that he would be saved and all of the people on that ship would be saved if they would abide by what he tells them. Then they come to the island. They find out the island is called Patmos. And there, everybody is welcoming them. And they're thrilled to have Paul and all these guests there. And they're treating him real well. And again, the weather is kind of cold and damp and everything. And the Apostle Paul had gathered some sticks together to throw them on a fire that had been built by the island people of Miletus. And when he threw that pile of sticks out there, a viper, a poisonous, well-known viperous poisonous snake, attached itself to the Apostle Paul's hand. And the Apostle Paul just shook it off. It was like no issue, no problem. He shook it off, and the people assessed he got away with murder. He must be a murderer and he got away with the shipwreck, but he's about to die. And so they watched very carefully and expecting him to swell up and die, but he didn't swell up, he didn't die. He just shook that viper off and threw it back into the fire. As a result of that, the people came and honored them. And they actually even said the Apostle Paul was a god. And then there was an important leader on the island, and he had, I think, a father or a brother, Publius, who was sick of a fever and a bloody flocks. And they called upon the Apostle Paul, and Paul went in to that man. He prayed for him, laid his hands upon the man, and the man received a miracle. He was healed. Now, I want you to compare the difference between shaking off the fear. You'll see most miracles abide by that very principle. First, you got to get rid of the fear so that you can have the faith to do a miracle. Well, as a result of this particular miracle that took place, all of a sudden, all the diseased people of the island came and they brought them to the Apostle Paul. They came to hear what the Apostle Paul had to say, and he prayed for them after preaching and teaching the word to them, and they were healed. Now, I want to encourage you, again, feed your faith, but shake off first the fear. We'll have more to say about the fears that we go through in this life, but again, God cares about you, and he wants you to be an active part in his work, not in the devil's work. God bless you.